Hi, this video has to do with your decision to buy a house. Now, all realtors in Alberta use the same standard contract that I'm going to go through with you today. And there's a couple of really important things in here to look out for. This is more of an overview. It's just give you an idea what you're going to be signing when you get to that point. But yeah, just follow along, and I'll kind of show you everything that you're going to be seeing in a contract. So the top here, you're going to have all the people that are involved in the purchase. The seller's names are going to go here. Your name's going to go here. Section 1 has to do with the property. Now, this is, like I said, it's an Alberta contract, so all the addresses will be in Alberta here. So say you're buying 123 Street in your town, it'll all go in here. Every property in Alberta has a lot, block, and plan number. It'll go in here. Section B has to do with things that are included in the sale that are not attached to the house. So things like the fridge stove, things like that. Basically anything that is included in the sale that's not attached to the house. Anything that can be removed. Now, the next section has to do with things that are attached. And if they're bringing like a shelving unit or something that is screwed to the wall, the sellers have to disclose it right here. Section 2 has to do with the purchase price and the completion date. So say you're buying a house and it's listed at 410,000 and you are willing to offer 400,000, that number would go in there. And with a resale property, the purchase price includes any applicable GST. And then section 2 is it talks about the possession date, the day you're going to get possession of your house. And, the house has to be in substantially the same condition as when we viewed it. Section 3 has to do with terms, and it kind of goes over 2 pages, but basically, like I said, we'll go through this a little more in depth when you're ready to sign your contract, but it's an Alberta contract. Alberta time applies, so it doesn't matter where the buyer or the seller are, it's Alberta times. And then business days that your house is going to, where you're going to get possession of your house, has to be on a weekday. It cannot be on a business day or a stat holiday, things like that. And the big part of this one here is section F, where it says the seller will disclose any known material latent defects. And that means a defect in the property that's not discoverable through a reasonable inspection. All right. And it will, cause the value of the house to decrease or make the house hazardous to live in, things like that. Now, every property should have a real property report. Now, a real property report is it's kind of a sketch of your property, and it shows the house, the garage, sidewalks, that kind of thing, decks. And very important to get one that shows kind of the major parts of your house. But every property is unique, and as we go through the process, we will take a look at the real property report of the property you choose, and then we'll kind of go from there. And you're able to get independent advice for inspections and anything on the real property report or on title, things like that. And that's something that we all kind of go through every time. And then the last part here is the seller's brokerage will provide this contract and related documents to both lawyers. So basically, you're going to need a lawyer, and the seller's brokerage will always send everything to your lawyer for you. So you don't have to worry about anything like that. Now, deposits, section 4, to hold a property, if we get an accepted offer, you're going to have to put down some money to hold it. Now, that money becomes part of the purchase price if you follow through and buy the house. But if you cannot get financing approved or the inspection shows something, then you get that money back. But it all becomes part of the purchase price. And it is cashed as soon as we send it over to the listing company. Land titles, I will pull title on any property you buy, and I'll show it to you, make sure there's no problems, there's no encroachments, there's no encumbrances or anything like that on the property. But yeah, we'll go through that. Representations and warranties. This is where the seller kind of gives you a little bit of information about that they own the property. They are non-residents for the purpose of the income tax. Just meaning that they are Canadian citizens paying income tax here in Canada. No one else has any legal right to anything on the property, so they don't owe a furniture store money for the fridge, stove, that kind of thing. And there's no encroachments, things like that. There's nothing up against this house that we have to worry about. And F is again, they talk about the material lighting defects, make sure everything is good with the property. If they know of any defects, they have to disclose it, and that kind of thing. So basically, this is all your kind of the seller's due diligence saying that the property is in good shape. Dower comes into effect if there's a married couple selling a house and only one of them is the legal owner. The spouse, that is the non-owner, has some rights that we have to kind of follow through, but easy. It doesn't affect the sale at all. We'll get through it. When you buy your house, you're going to have a couple of conditions. First one is probably going to be financing. Second one's probably going to be a property inspection. So we'll go through all that. Make sure your financing's approved. Make sure you've got that to fall back on if you don't get financing approved. And the property inspection, basically, it's got to be done by a licensed home inspector. I know all the good ones in Central Alberta, so we can kind of get through that. If for some reason you do have a house to sell in order to buy this new house, there is a condition in there, meaning just that we can put the offer on this house subject to the sale of your other house, get your house on the market right away and get that sold. We're going to have a kind of a time frame in there to do that. And then if there's any other conditions that you're going to have, we'll go in section D. If for some reason the seller has a condition, which is kind of rare, but it does happen once in a while, the sellers will put their condition in there. Then as soon as everyone, you've done all your due diligence, that your financing and inspection, we have to sign one piece of paper just saying that you're happy with everything. If there's anything attached, like if you've got the sale of buyer's property schedule, if you do have a house to sell, we'll have to fill out another piece of paper for that, and that is part of this contract. Now, the closing process is it's a long-winded thing that lawyers go through, and basically I won't talk too much about it here, but I'll kind of explain everything when we are together signing the contract. But section 10.2 talks about the real property report, and basically the seller is supposed to provide us with a real property report showing the current improvements on the property. If for some reason that say the fence isn't on the real property report, we could scratch 10.2 out and say up here 9.2s just say that if the real property report is not up to date, there's going to be a term in here just saying that you will accept the current real property report if you're okay with it. And basically we'll write something in there to say that you're going to accept that one. If you're not okay with it, then we ask for a brand new one. Insurance. It's really important to get your house insurance on as soon as you know that you are buying the house. So do all your due diligence. It doesn't hurt to talk to your insurance company before you do all your due diligence. Make sure you're okay getting insurance on that property. Remedies. If there's a problem closing, then we'll work our way through it and kind of go through everything. Notice and documents, everything has to be in writing. So if it's not in writing, then it doesn't exist. And anytime we give notice on a condition, meaning we're happy with our financing or not happy with our financing, that's called a notice. Authorization. The seller's brokerage is the listing company. It goes all in here. And then the buyer's brokerage is me, and all my information would go there. Confirmation of contract terms. This just says that both parties, the seller and the buyer, both know that what you're getting yourself into, and there's no side agreements, things like that. And then legal obligations begin as soon as this contract is signed. Section 17 has to do with the offer. That basically we wrote the offer and it's good until September 1st, 2024 at 9 p.m. We have to have an answer back from the sellers by that point. And then you just sign it wherever you are in Alberta. You sign it there or wherever in the world. And then signatures go there. If we're together, I will witness it. If you're not together, the electronic signatures work really good too. And then as soon as the sellers accept our offer, they will sign it all in here. Basically, that is the purchase contract in a nutshell. It's like I say, when we get together and you're ready to sign off on that, then we can kind of explain it a little bit more in depth. But that's our contract. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Bye.